Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel. Enjoy the listening. They laughed at our ships, until one prototype wiped out their fleet. The Galactic Confederacy's flagship emerged from hyperspace with 6 escort vessels, massive structures that dwarfed the International Space Station like skyscrapers next to anthills. Commander Alina Rice watched the live feed from her office at Lunar Command, her coffee going cold in her hands. Humanity had detected the approaching ships 3 months ago, giving them just enough time to prepare a unified response and present Earth as a single political entity, at least on the surface. "They're hailing," said Lieutenant Kwan, her communications officer. Alina nodded. "Put them through." The wall screen flickered and revealed a figure that resembled a humanoid octopus with 4 manipulator tentacles and skin that shifted through a spectrum of blues and purples. Gold implants adorned its head, which housed 6 eyes arranged in a circle. "I am High Administrator Zith of the Galactic Confederacy," the alien said, its translator rendering the words in flawless English. "Your world has been selected for integration. Prepare to receive our diplomatic delegation." Alina introduced herself as Earth's representative, trying to project confidence despite the knot in her stomach. The Confederacy ships moved into Earth orbit with effortless precision, their engines barely registering on Earth's sensors despite their enormous size. 3 days later, Alina stood in the United Nations headquarters in New York, watching as the alien delegation surveyed Earth's best technology with barely concealed amusement. The Confederacy representatives moved through the exhibition hall where humanity had proudly displayed its achievements: quantum computers, fusion prototypes, the latest in medical nanites. High Administrator Zith trailed a tentacle across a display of Earth's most advanced spacecraft. "Quaint," Zith said. "Your propulsion systems would be considered primitive by our junior academy students." Dr. Abramovich, head of Earth's space program, clenched his jaw but maintained his professional demeanor. "We've only been exploring space for less than a century." "And it shows," replied Zith. "Your technological progression is adequate for your species' age, but you have much to learn." The negotiations that followed were hardly negotiations at all. Earth would become a protected resource world within the Confederacy. They would receive limited technological assistance in exchange for raw materials and biological specimens. Military development would be restricted, and space travel beyond the solar system prohibited without Confederacy approval. "This is colonization, not partnership," Alina argued during a closed session with Earth's leadership. "They're treating us like a primitive tribe they've discovered in the jungle." World President Okafor sighed heavily. "What choice do we have? Their scanners have mapped our entire defense network. One of their escort ships could destroy our combined military forces." Alina left the session early, unable to watch as Earth signed away its independence. She drove through Washington, D.C.'s rain-slick streets to a nondescript office building that housed the most classified project in human history. Project Prometheus had begun 2 years earlier when a young physicist named Maya Chen discovered an anomaly in quantum field theory that suggested an entirely new approach to energy manipulation. Alina had recognized its potential immediately and secured black budget funding before anyone could shut it down. The laboratory occupied 3 underground levels beneath the building. Alina found Maya hunched over equations that spiraled across multiple holographic displays. "They signed the treaty," Alina said without preamble. Maya didn't look up. "How bad?" "Worse than we expected. 30% of our rare earth elements, restrictive quotas on technological development, and Confederacy advisors stationed at all major research facilities, including here." Maya finally looked up, her eyes wide. "Not yet. This facility isn't on any official records, but it's only a matter of time before they detect our energy signature." Maya gestured to her equations. "Then we need to work faster. I've been modeling the Confederacy ship's energy outputs based on the sensor readings you sent. Their technology relies on conventional physics, just more advanced implementations than ours. But this," she highlighted a section of her work, operates on principles they don't appear to understand. Will it work? Elena asked, studying the complex mathematics that represented their only hope for independence. In theory, but we need to test it on a larger scale. 6 months passed. The Confederacy established bases on Mars and Europa, harvesting resources with massive automated machines that stripped entire regions bare within weeks. Earth's economy struggled under the burden of Confederacy quotas, and riots broke out in major cities as resources grew scarce. Elena's team worked in shifts around the clock. The Prometheus lab had expanded, with 300 of Earth's brightest minds now dedicated to the project. They had constructed a prototype the size of a car, its core containing Maya's revolutionary technology, a quantum field manipulator that could theoretically absorb, redirect, and amplify energy in ways that defied conventional physics. The Confederacy is increasing their quotas again, Elena told Maya as they reviewed test results. Another 15% across all categories. They're claiming our integration is behind schedule. Maya's fingers tightened around her tablet. They're bleeding us dry. How close are we? The small-scale tests are promising. The field can absorb and redirect energy with 93% efficiency, but scaling up to something that could power a ship or a weapon system. Elena's secure communicator chimed. It was a message from her contact in Earth's intelligence service, Confederacy inspectors requesting access to all research facilities, including unregistered ones, citing anomalous energy readings. 48 hours. She showed the message to Maya, whose face paled. They've detected us, Elena said. We're out of time. Maya straightened her shoulders. Then we skip the intermediate tests. We go straight to full implementation. That's incredibly risky. So is doing nothing. Maya highlighted a schematic on her tablet. We've been modifying a ship in secret. The Defiance. It's ready for the core installation. Elena studied the design. It was smaller than standard military vessels, sleek and built for speed rather than conventional firepower. Its entire structure was designed around Maya's quantum core technology. Do it, Elena said, and pray it works. 3 days later, the Confederacy's inspection team arrived at the Prometheus facility only to find it empty, equipment removed, data wiped, not a trace of the project remaining. High Administrator Zith personally reviewed the site, his skin darkening to a deep indigo with rage. Find them, he ordered his subordinates. Find what they were building here. Now. By then, the Defiance was hidden in an abandoned mining facility deep within the asteroid belt, where Elena's team worked frantically to complete the installation of the quantum core. Earth's fate hung in the balance, dependent on technology that existed only in theory and the desperate hope that humanity's ingenuity could overcome the Confederacy's millennia of advancement. The Confederacy ships in Earth orbit increased from 6 to 20, their weapon systems powered up in a clear message: humanity was out of time. Project Defiance. The asteroid mining facility had been abandoned for years, its cavernous chambers perfect for concealing the Defiance and its support systems. The ship itself was unlike anything humanity had built before, its sleek hull devoid of visible weapon systems or conventional engines, its interior arranged around the pulsing heart of Maya's quantum core. Elena stood on the observation deck with Dr. Rajiv Patel, the project's chief engineer, watching as technicians made final adjustments to the core's housing. It's beautiful, Rajiv said, admiration evident in his voice. Conventional engineers would call it impossible. The core resembled a sphere of liquid light contained within multiple layers of specialized fields. It shifted through colors as it processed energy, blues, purples, occasionally flashing with white brilliance when its internal systems aligned. Will it fly? Elena asked, her focus practical as always. In theory, yes. The quantum field manipulator doesn't just absorb energy, it can create propulsion by selectively releasing it. No conventional engines needed. Rajiv hesitated. But we've never tested it at full scale. The mathematics suggests it will work, but we're betting Earth's future on theoretical physics, Alina finished for him. Maya entered the observation deck, her normally immaculate appearance disheveled from days without proper rest. Latest update from Earth, she said, handing Elena a tablet. The Confederacy has instituted martial law in 3 major cities after protests turned violent. They're threatening orbital strikes if the unrest continues. Alina scanned the report, her expression darkening. They're making examples, showing what happens to worlds that resist. There's more, Maya continued. Their scanners are sweeping the asteroid belt systematically. They'll find us within days. Alina made her decision. Then we test the Defiance now. Today. Commander, we're not ready for a full systems test, Rajiv warned. We don't have a choice. If the Confederacy finds us before we can demonstrate that the technology works, Earth's leadership will surrender it to save lives. We need to prove it's viable. 3 hours later, Alina stood on the Defiance's bridge. The command center was minimalist, just 6 stations arranged in a semicircle around the captain's chair, with holographic displays providing a 360 degrees view of their surroundings. All systems online, reported Lieutenant Sarah Kagan from the operations station. Core is stable at 30% capacity. Elena took her seat. Begin undocking procedure. The Defiance separated from the mining facility with gentle precision, its movement controlled not by conventional thrusters but by minute adjustments in the quantum field. The ship glided into open space, asteroid fragments drifting slowly around it. Set course for the test zone, Elena ordered. 1/4 capacity. The Defiance responded instantly, accelerating with such smoothness that the crew would have been unaware of their movement if not for the changing view of space around them. The test zone was an empty region of the asteroid belt, selected for its distance from both Earth and Confederacy patrol routes. We're approaching the test zone, Sarah announced. No Confederacy vessels detected within sensor range. Alina nodded. Prepare for weapons test Alpha. The Defiance carried no conventional weapons, no missile launchers, no rail guns, no laser arrays. Instead, it was designed to project focused quantum fields that could interact with matter and energy in revolutionary ways. Target asteroid designate A7, Elena ordered, indicating a rock roughly the size of a small building. The bridge crew programmed the targeting parameters, and Maya monitored the core's response from her station. Field projection ready, Maya reported. Core stable at 45%. Elena took a deep breath. Engage. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then a barely visible distortion emanated from the Defiance, reaching out toward the asteroid. When it made contact, the result was immediate and shocking. The asteroid didn't explode or break apart, it simply ceased to exist, its matter converted entirely to energy and absorbed by the Defiance's quantum field. The bridge fell silent. Core capacity now at 68%, Maya finally said, her voice hushed. It worked better than we calculated. The field didn't just disrupt the asteroid's molecular structure, it converted the entire mass to usable energy. Could it do the same to a Confederacy ship? Elena asked. Before Maya could answer, alarms blared across the bridge. Confederacy vessel detected, Sarah called out. Heavy cruiser emerging from behind the larger asteroids. They must have been shadowing our movements. The Confederacy ship dwarfed the Defiance, its sleek purple hull bristling with weapon emplacements. It accelerated toward them, energy readings indicating weapons charging. They're hailing us, Sarah reported. On screen, Elena replied, straightening in her chair. A Confederacy officer appeared on the main display, his tentacles rippling with anger. Human vessel, you are operating illegal technology in violation of the Integration Treaty. Power down immediately and prepare to be boarded. Alina stood. This is Commander Alina Rice of Earth. We are conducting authorized scientific tests in neutral space. We have not violated any treaty provisions. Your vessel contains energy signatures consistent with prohibited weapons research, the officer replied. This is your final warning. Power down or be destroyed. The connection cut off. They're charging weapons, Sarah reported, her voice tense. Alina looked to Maya. Options? We could run. The Defiance can outpace any Confederacy vessel based on our calculations. Or. Maya hesitated. Or we could fight, Elena finished. Test our system against a real target. The core is untested at full capacity, Rajiv warned. We don't know if the containment fields will hold. Alina weighed their options quickly. Running meant revealing the Defiance's capabilities without proving its effectiveness as a defensive system. Fighting meant risking everything on untested technology. Prepare defensive fields, she decided. Let them fire first. We'll absorb and analyze their weapons before responding. The Confederacy ship fired a moment later, a blindingly bright energy beam that streaked across space toward the Defiance. Instead of impacting against shields, the beam seemed to bend toward the Defiance's hull, disappearing into it without causing damage. Core capacity at 82%, Maya reported, excitement breaking through her professional demeanor. The field absorbed nearly all of the energy. Minimal bleed-through to the hull. The Confederacy ship fired again, this time with multiple beams. Again, the Defiance absorbed them, the quantum field growing visibly stronger with each attack. They're preparing to launch missiles, Sarah warned. Alina made her decision. Target their weapon systems only. Minimum field projection. We want to disable, not destroy. The Defiance released a portion of its accumulated energy, directing it in a controlled burst toward the Confederacy vessel. The effect was immediate. The section of hull containing their primary weapons array simply vanished, converted to energy just like the asteroid had been. The Confederacy ship veered away, emergency signals broadcasting across all frequencies. They're retreating, Sarah confirmed, unable to keep a note of triumph from her voice. Alina didn't share the crew's celebration. They'll report this to their fleet. We just accelerated their timetable. Within hours, the Confederacy response proved her right. All 20 ships in Earth orbit began moving toward the asteroid belt, and communications from Earth reported that Confederacy forces were rounding up government officials and scientists, demanding information about Project Prometheus. Earth's President Okafor managed to send one final secure message to Alina, Confederacy threatening orbital bombardment of major cities, demanding surrender of your ship and technology. What capabilities do you have? Alina conferred with her team before responding, technology works. Effectiveness exceeds projections. Single ship successfully disabled Confederacy cruiser. Request permission to engage primary fleet. The reply came an hour later, permission granted. Earth standing by to support with conventional forces as distraction. Good luck, Commander. Humanity is counting on you. Alina gathered her bridge crew. The Confederacy believes they're hunting us. Instead, we're going to bring the fight to them. Set course for Earth orbit, maximum speed. It's time to show the Confederacy what humanity is capable of. The Defiance accelerated toward Earth, its revolutionary drive propelling it faster than any human vessel had traveled before, the fate of their species resting on its quantum core and the courage of its crew. The Defiance dropped out of its acceleration phase at the edge of the Earth-Moon system, the blue-green planet hanging in space before them. Around it orbited the Confederacy fleet, 20 capital ships arranged in a defensive formation, their scanners sweeping space for any sign of the rogue human vessel. Alina studied the tactical display, noting the positions of each enemy ship. They've thinned their coverage in the southern hemisphere, she observed. Likely concentrating forces near our major population centers as leverage. Incoming transmission from Earth, Sarah reported. Audio only, encrypted channel. President Okafor's voice came through, strained but resolute. Commander Rice, the Confederacy has issued an ultimatum. We surrender your ship and all research related to Project Prometheus, or they begin orbital strikes on major cities in 1 hour. They're starting with New Delhi. 20 million people. Understood, Madam President, Elena replied. Request Earth's military forces stand ready to engage on my signal. We need a distraction. They'll be slaughtered, Okafor said bluntly. They only need to draw attention for a few minutes. The Defiance will do the rest. After a pause, Okafor responded, very well. Earth forces will launch on your signal. Good hunting, Commander. Elena turned to her crew. Battle stations. Maya, core status. Core at 93% capacity, Maya reported from her station. Field projectors aligned and ready. Rajiv, ship status. The engineer checked his displays. All systems functioning within parameters. Hull integrity at 100%. Alina took a moment to look at each member of her bridge crew, all of them the best Earth had to offer, all of them aware they might not survive the next hour. What we do today will determine the future of our species. The Confederacy.